Alrighty, what's up? What's up, everyone? Coach Tony here. We are about to go live. So if you're joining me here, welcome. This is our we haven't done this in a very long time. Ask Coach Tony anything. June 9th, 2025, and then cool. So we're gonna go live. We're going live in a few different areas. We're going live on Facebook. We're going live on Twitch. We're going live on YouTube. I think I'm going live on TikTok as well too. So we're pretty much live on a lot of different areas. Let me double head and just make sure everything is good to go there. And we'll get started. So if you guys are joining me live right now, feel free to use the chat. I think chat works for us here today. If not, I'm pulling up all the different areas to make sure we can see all the things as well for you guys is number one. And number two is if you guys have questions, right? Today's a fun Q&A session. So we're going to just answer questions for you all today on this session. So I believe we are going live. We're live on Facebook in 3, 2, 1. All right. I think we are live. Alrighty. Welcome everyone. It's Coach Tony here. Today is June 9th, 2025. I'm here going live, doing a fun little Q&A. I haven't done one of these in a very, very long time. So if you guys are interested, feel free to drop a question down in the chat. I'm pulling up all the different platforms that we have connect questions to come in from. So we'll go ahead and do that. Making sure, boom, right? But for those who, this is our first time meeting, my name is Coach Tony. I'm actually a former UC Berkeley admissions reader, former UCLA director, former founder of a high school, charter school in California. I was TikTok's first college admissions partner. So done a lot of things. We've been working with students in the college admission space for the last 16 years officially. In the current iteration, we're egelloC. It's actually the word college backwards because we want to help our students get to college. We kind of reverse engineer the whole process to make sure you guys succeed as well too, right? So jumping into today, this is a fun little Q&A kind of format as well. So if you guys have any questions, feel free again to start dropping them in. I asked early today in our Facebook groups. I asked on our social medias if anyone has any questions. So I dropped a few. If you have more, again, still free to drop it in the chat wherever you're finding me from. Again, we are going live in a lot of different areas. We're going live on Twitch, going live on YouTube, going live on Facebook groups, I think we're live on TikTok as well too. So we're kind of everywhere. We're kind of everywhere today. So if you guys, again, have questions, go ahead and drop it down below. But for the next like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, I'm just going to go answer questions for you guys. So we have some fun today. Okay, so again, no real format. I'm just gonna ramble like as well. I'm gonna ramble today, kind of going through everything here. So let's go ahead and start first here. First one is, what are the most and least competitive engineering majors at UC San Diego and Cal Poly SLO? How does the process work if a student is accepted to an undeclared but wants to transfer to an engineering program? So great question as well too. I think there's kind of two parts to this question here, right? The first part of this question is, keep in mind, right, that most colleges admit by college, not major, right? What this means, right? College, not major. What this means is that you're not usually you're not admitted directly into the college specifically. What usually happens, so think of it as college year one, right? Year one, year two, year three, and year four, right? What happens year one and year two? Year one plus year two, right? You guys can't see my screen. There you go. Year 1 and 2 is basically your general education courses and your requisites, the pre-major courses that you have to be taking as well too, okay? Once you do that, year 3 and year 4 is going to be your major related classes. So that's kind of how the 4 years of college looks like for you guys. So pretty much when it comes to the number here, that's why you're admitted to the college, because when you're in your college, you're able to take the general education, the pre-major classes, then you'll declare your major, right? You'll declare your major at the end of sophomore, beginning right, of junior year. So basically, you'll be declaring your major at the beginning or end there, so you'll be able to kind of share, hey, I want to be this major officially. So going back to the question, right, what is the least competitive? It depends on the school, and then again, every school you get to get into the college first. So focus first on getting into the college itself. Then you can do the requirements. And this is pretty much a matter of requirements. If it's a more impacted major, or like impacted, right, capped major, right, grades will matter. Well, will matter in your pre-major or prerequisite courses as well too. If major is not, as long as you pass the requirements, you are good to go as well too. So when you look up any major for any college, you'll see that they have like their major classes, but there's also pre-major or prerequisite courses. That's what you need to do to declare your official major as well too. Okay, and most high schools don't hit these requirements. That's a college thing or community college thing as well. So that's kind of the first one. Here, how's the process if you're undeclared but you transfer, right? So keep in mind, right, that is a transfer in between colleges, right? Because most undeclared our undecided majors are typically in the biggest college, right? Which is like usually like the College of Letters and Science, Letters and Arts, right? One of the broader, oops, you guys can see my screen. One of the broader colleges as well too. So there's a general kind of college. Most schools have it where like most majors that doesn't fit in go into there. So if you want to transfer to a college, right, you have to do the requirements to try in. Keep in mind that if you're applying to a more competitive college, all right, it's equally, if not more, competitive than a first year, right? So that's why some people are always like, hey, Coach Tony, what if I go in as a history major and then I transfer to computer science? Again, if they have space available, right? Because if there's no space available, then you don't get anything at all too. So that's kind of the big thing to keep in mind when it comes to this is number one. Okay, so that's kind of to answer the first one. Second question as well too. Next one. Again, I'm doing Q&A. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and again drop it in the chat. We are going live on a lot of different platforms. I'm double check the chat really quick. Yes, if anyone has any questions, feel free to drop it in. If you're joining us either on YouTube, on Twitch, on TikTok, on Facebook groups. I see all the comments, so feel free to chime down below. We can help you guys with that as well. Okay, so kind of going back here, if your high school offers multiple year-long, 2-year bio, single-year chem, physics, lab-based seminars where students work on teams to do research, will that be experience perceived to be equivalent valuable as a college-level research program? If your offer offers multiple year-long, 2-year bio, single chem, I don't know, right? So the thing is, it depends on how your school has this set up. Keep in mind, a lot of these questions, there's a lot more. We got to dive deep and ask a few more clarifying questions is the thing. I'm just going to answer as is. I'm going to make some assumptions, by the way, too, on these calls just to kind of if this, if that. So first off, like, again, if this is a high school thing, right, how is that equivalent to college? Probably not, right? So high school and college are two different things. That's number one. Again, nuances. What if your high school teacher is a professor and they're bringing college students to the high school campus to do research and do labs? Right? Maybe that might be considered as well too. But at the high level, probably not, right? If you think about would be equivalent, right? Equivalence, right? I would say probably most likely not, right? Most likely not. That being said though, right? That being said, right? Keep in mind, is this what we need for admissions? The answer is no, right? Do we need to be as good? No. The idea is the key to when it comes to activities, right? When it comes to your college activities, right? Focus on the why over the what. And this is the big one of the main lessons that we push a lot, right? The why you do something is more important than the what you end up doing. So again, the what in this case would be like the research seminars that you're doing. For me, that's cool because the kind of you ask yourself, right? How many other students can say that they have done this, right? And I will tell you, in the year This is the year 2025. Pretty much anything you do is not that special, right? So I read so many prompts, so many things. Nothing you do is gonna make you like super stand out in the process, right? What does make you stand out is you, right? What does make you stand out is you, right? So that's the key of all this. As long as you focus, what makes you stand out is you, the student. Okay, keep in mind, we're really hard to be creative. I think this one I read a Facebook post this morning that like to create humans, right? It's like a billions, tens of thousands of billions of atoms put together to create us as well too. So then to think of it like, dang, that's a lot, right? That's a lot of things as well too. So you're the only you in the combination of you I'll ever meet pretty much my entire life as well too. So that's what makes you different. Doing the things that other people are doing, that's the same thing as other people are doing. So you want to focus more on you. That's why I ask you, why did you do whatever thing? That's more important to me because that tells me who you are as a person. I think that's the key of all this. Okay, so that's kind of the key takeaway here. Next one. Oops. Again, we're going live. People are joining us all over. Thank you, Evan, for joining me as well. Again, feel free to message in the comments if you have any questions as well too. It looks like our audio might be a little low, so we might real quick check. Is the audio good? Can people see and hear okay? Quick little yes or no in the chat so I can know if audio is decent. I think a few people said that audio might be a little light. I turn up the volume a little bit on my end to see if that helps a little bit as well. Yes, no, maybe so. Maybe. All right. Helped a little bit. Love it. All right, cool. So again, if you guys have questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. I gathered a few questions we asked those who had questions earlier today. So here's the questions that I have specifically. But if you have any more questions, feel free to drop. This call is here for you guys as well too. Okay, so kind of next one. This past year, I've started to normalize very unhealthy work-life habits. I'm sacrificed to find balance. I've sacrificed a lot of healthy habits for school and work, and I was wondering if you had advice on how I can slowly go about creating a better work-life balance and making permanent change in my work habits. This is a great question. I love this question as well too, right? So here's the thing that I would recommend for you guys in this specific, right? Number one is you need to whoever the student is, I'm assuming the student, right? You need to find what works best for you. And the reason why I want to start off with that statement first is because keeping in mind, right? I truly believe in 2025, there's no such thing as work-life school balance, right? I'm going to put that statement out there real quick, right? I don't think there's no such thing as work-life school balance. The balance is how you want it best as well too, right? So I'm going to kind of dive a little deeper so you guys can understand what I mean by that, right? So really quick in the chat for those wherever you're joining us, is anyone here, I'm assuming you're in high school or assuming you guys have a high school student, does anyone here think about going to the Ivy Leagues one day, right? Anyone want to go to the Ivies, right? In the chat, quick yes in the chat if that is kind of one of your goals. Does anyone here want to aim for one of the Ivies as well too, right? We have a few. Yeah, awesome. In the chat, thanks for participating as well, right? We have some people who want to aim for the Ivies. Love it. Awesome, cool. All right, does anyone want to go to a top like state school, right? State school like UCLA, UC Berkeley, right? One of those state schools, right? Really quick in the chat, drop another yes in the chat if this is you. If you're either you as a student or you're a parent, you kind of want your student to do it. Anyone here interested, right, in attending like a top state school, right? People, more yeses, right? More yeses from this group as well too. So when it comes to these two answers, here's reality. Reality is most of you will not go there. That's reality. I have numbers to prove that is the answer. I'm not making anyone feel bad, whatever. That's reality. Reality is most of us will not make it in because they accept only a fraction, a percent of the students to get in. So keep in mind, right? If most would not go there, they only take these schools, right, are looking for the top students. for the top percentage of students as well too, right? That's a fact. No lies yet, right? No lies yet so far, right? These schools are looking for the top percent of students, right? Keep in mind, right? If you want, I'm going to assume right now, this is the assumption, I'm making an assumption for that. Assumption, right? If a work-life school, I'm going to throw a school balance, all right, how do we define that? Maybe that means we're able to do school, right? Do school, do well in classes, maybe hang out with our friends as well too. Maybe hang out with friends and our families. Maybe get involved and do activities we enjoy. Maybe for you is play video games for like 5 hours, 3 hours a day as well too, right? That's maybe how you define it. That's your work-life balance. So I'm like, awesome, right? If that's your work-life balance as well too, for me, we do the math up. Like, what does this equal? And again, I would argue that this is pretty much what a lot of people is, right? A lot of people, when they go to work, adults now, parents, right? You guys go to work. A lot of people just go home. What? You watch TV, you watch Netflix, you eat dinner at home, you lay in bed, read the news, right? Read on a Kindle, you go to bed. And that's the same exact thing every single day, right? As well too. I would say that's a pretty average, right? I'll say this is pretty average work-life balance, right? We're going to work-life balance, well, work-life school, throwing for the students as well too. Average work-life balance. The question is this, right? If you are average, right, would you be at the top percentage of anything? That's the question here, right? Because if you are doing the average, doing the normal of anything, how do we expect to be at the very top, right? There's a reason why, right? Let me go back down here. There's a reason why Ivy kids go to the Ivies, right? There's a reason why, right, certain people, right, hit it rich in life, right? Of course there are some lucky examples, right? There are of course there's some lucky examples, right, as well too, but for the most part, most of these people aren't average, right? So basically, to be extraordinary, you need to do extraordinary things. Do extraordinary things is the key, right? So I think that's the big takeaway when it comes to this balance question, right? So if you want to be extraordinary, you do extraordinary things. The reason why I would say our team is one of the best teams ever, right? Depends. They work really, really hard, right? They're always there for our students. They kind of figure it out. They're there on the weekdays. Our team just finished an event on the weekends. They work like 6-hour days. Some of our coaches work 7 days a week as well too, right? We do very, very, very non-normal things, but that's the reason why we're not a normal program. We're not a normal company. Our people are not normal as well too. They are extraordinary folks, right? So when it goes back to your question as well too, right? The question I would have you think about is the idea of balance. What do you define as balance, and what are you doing it for? Keep in mind, I don't agree with just stressing yourself. Do not, right, stress yourself for no reason, right? But, right, to sometimes though, the reality is, right, to achieve something great, right, it does take a little pain as well too. Again, parents, right? If you want to get that promotion, you don't just do what everyone's doing. You work extra hard to get promotion. Our students who go to the Ivies, there's no accident. Okay, we interviewed a bunch of our Ivy students. When you hear what they do, you're like, oh, I see why they're able to the Ivies, right? Does that mean for everyone? No, keep in mind, I do not think that everyone should aim for an Ivy League school, right? I do not want to aim for Ivy League school. Right? I know what our kids do. I don't want to do that at all for myself. But it comes back, and this is the final takeaway, this all comes down to self-awareness, right? So to this person who asked this question as well too, I would have you practice this, self-awareness. You know you best. At the end of the day, if you're a high school student, right, parents might be helping you out, mentors, coaches, teachers, everyone as well too. But at the end of the day, you're the one living your life, right? So for me, I always ask, what type of life do you want to live? right? There's nothing wrong with being average, being normal, being typical. At the same time, there's also nothing wrong with being extraordinary as well too. So I think the idea is what type do you want and kind of focusing on that. I think that's the big key to do. So self-awareness is the key. Of course, right, going back to tactical, let's say, hey, I don't want to go crazy, go back normal. Again, keep in mind, right, I'm always big on, again, what's more important than anything else, right, your health overall, right? So focus on this. I would say that's kind of the ultimate kind of hack for students, right? Health. And what does this mean, students? That means you got to sleep 8 hours a night, right? 8 hours a night. This means have, I call it me time. Me time. I say 1-2 hours, scroll TikTok, watch Netflix, play video games, whatever you just to kind of have that me time 1-2 hours per day, right? Even if you do this alone, right? Make sure you eat too. Eat healthy, right? You do this alone, right? Everything else that you do, you're going to be fine, right? You do all this and the rest of your hours, you're going to be fine as well too. Okay? So that's that. Next one. That was a fun question. Next one. I've been watching a lot of your videos. So much has been geared towards STEM students. Can you help an aspiring in-state 2026 poli-sci communications majors out? Is it true that many UCs are easier to get into as a liberal arts major? So I wouldn't say it's easier, right? I wouldn't say it is easier, right? But I would say that UCs, colleges, certain colleges at the UCs are a bit less competitive, right? For example, right? Oops, yes, can't see my screen, right? Easy example here is going to be like UC Berkeley, right? UC Berkeley has a few colleges, right? They have a college of letters and science. They have a college of business, right? The Haas program as well too. They have the College of Chemistry for those who want to study chemistry. They have the College of Engineering. They just created a new college called the College of Computer Science. It's not called that. It's called like a lot of like computer science and data and stuff like that. So I'm just call it the College of Computer Science, right? They're all different colleges. Under each college, there's majors. So for example, the math major is under letters and science. The poli-sci major is under letters and science. What other majors there? There's a bunch of them out there, right? History is under here as well too, right? What's under business, right? There's Haas, right? The business major, right? Haas School of Business major. There's a GMP, right? A specialized program. Under computer science, there's computer science, there's data science, there's stats as well too. So what this means is that whatever major you're applying to, you're going to be compared against that school. The only two UCs that admit by major is UCI and UC Santa Barbara. But all the other UCs admit by college, meaning if you are a computer science, data science, stats, does not matter too much from the realm of like the pool, because you're in the same pool that people are kind of applying. That's kind of what that means, right? Is the thing there. So going back to your question, right, is like if it's easier, I wouldn't say it's easier. It's just that you're in the College of Letters and Science. That's a probably broad college with a lot of a catch-all. So you won't be competing against the engineers. You won't be competing against the business students. You're competing against all the other students as well too, right? And the other thing to help this person out as well too, right? The big thing I want to know, right, when it comes to whatever your major is, I want to know, right? I want to know, why do you want to be this major, right? That's a very big question. A lot of colleges will ask you that question, why do you want to be this major? And for a lot of people, they don't really have a good answer to this question as well too. So a good way to answer this question is instead of focusing on what you will do, right? Focus on what you have done. Ooh, that's a good line right there, right? So instead of saying, hey, I want to be a poli-sci major because I want to go ahead and be a lawyer in the future, right? Instead of saying that, because everyone can say that, you can say, hey, I want to be a poli-sci major. The last 2 years I was involved in X, Y, and Z. Then I continue in doing A, B, and C. Then N, Y, and Z, right? So you're sharing what you've done so far, which again gives the reader confidence. Hey, you've done that. You're probably going to do more of that once you get to our school. That's going to be the key for you over here. So hopefully that helped answer that question for you guys as well here. Let's do a live question. I see a question here from the chat as well. Let's go ahead and do a quick little live question over here before we doing more, right? A fun, oops, right? A fun little live question here from the chat is going to be, as an international student, how much is it cost to pursue undergraduate in NUS? Not sure what NUS is. Pursue is the course of mechanical engineering. So keep in mind, right? This is a tuition question. So basically, how much does it cost in general? So I'm going to speak general. Like, I'm assuming the question is, how much is it to pursue undergrad, right? In the U.S. as international is the question, right? So yeah, I'm assuming that's the question for whoever asked this question. So the question is, so you're basically paying the fees, right? The fees, the tuition plus the fees of the college itself is number one, right? Then so you can look it up, Google it, you'll find it right away, right? Next, if you look up if it's an in-state college, right, and you're not a resident, if not resident, right, you got to add the out-of-state. I call it the out-of-state tax, right? The out-of-state tax, something that it's not called that, by the way, but then I'm calling it the out-of-state tax, an extra. It's usually, by the way, around 20,000-30,000 per year, in addition to what you're doing there. So I think that's what that part is going to look like for you guys first. So that's kind of what that looks like is number one. Okay. And then for number, if it's a private school, right? If private college, right, doesn't matter residency. Right? It's just the same as tuition and fees. So if you're applying to a private schools, right, then the private schools will have the same tuition and fees as what you see as well too. That's how much it costs, right? So now the real question you're probably asking is like, okay, how much do I have to pay? So the cost versus the cost versus the price, right? So then keep in mind that FYI that most colleges do not give too much aid, right, to like international folks is usually a thing. Man, it depends. It changes per school though. So something I would have you do is pro tip here. Oops, you can't see. The pro tip here is to call the colleges. Call. Oh, my keyboard not working. Let me try to go fast. So the answer is, oh, there we go. Just came. It was slow. It was just slow. Call the college financial aid. Keep in mind, financial aid and admissions are two separate departments. They talk to each other, but not really. So make sure you go to each one for each one. So call the financial aid, ask them, let them know your situation, and they'll let you know, like, hey, how much we can or cannot help you with is the key. So hopefully that was helpful for you there. Okay, so that's that. Next question. So man, it's been 30 minutes as well. You guys like this format? Is this a fun format for you guys? Was this good? You guys liking it so far? I'm going through the different channels to kind of see the feedback as well too, just because we're live streaming on TikTok and YouTube and Facebook and I think that's all. Those are the channels as well. I tried to do Instagram didn't work as well too. So awesome, fantastic, good. Awesome, fantastic, cool. All right, so let's go ahead and do the next question as well too. We have time for a few more. If you want to squeeze a question in, by the way, let me know if you guys like this format. If so, I can probably do it again next week if that sounds like a good plan for us as well. So kind of going here, how can I improve my writing? It's a great question as well too, right? I have a silly answer for you guys, right? To improve your writing, write more as well too, right? That's how you get better at anything, right? You get better by doing more of it. And I think the big reason why people don't do more, right? The reason why people don't do more is because of fear. And that's a big thing when it comes to high school families as well too. It's always the fear of everything. Like, oh man, what if I do it and people laugh at me? Right? Or what if I do it and I suck as well too? Spoilers, you are probably gonna suck. That's the thing. If you say I want to improve my and you're not the good, you're probably not the greatest right now, and that's okay. So what is my question as well too, right? So all this as well too, it's okay. But the only way to get better is you gotta do more of it. So that's something I would recommend you guys do. Just do more of it as well too. So example, something you can do is an example. start a blog, right? If you want to get better at writing, right, figure out what you need to do. So, for example, start a blog, right? Go online. You can use, there's like medium.com is a free one. Substack, I think that one's paid, but you can Substack as well too. The idea here, you can go and create something and start writing is the biggest thing as well too, right? So writing, and you can be anonymous. Pro tip here, pro tip, right? You can be anonymous. No one needs to know. So let's say you're a writer and then you don't want your school to know. Be anonymous. Pick a pseudonym, right? Fun fact, a lot of your favorite writers, your favorite authors, they all use fake names to do their thing. And look it up as well. I think Mark Twain is a famous example of that. That's not his name. His name is something else, is the thing. So keep in mind, you can be anonymous with it. And so, right, here's a little tech, a 2025 tip for you guys, right? In today's world, right, I would actually leverage AI, right, to help you write as well too. Because again, we're in a world where we live in AI. It's gonna get faster and faster. If you don't jump on, you're gonna fall behind. So when it comes to this, right, what I would do is I would put in what you have, and ask it, right, and prompt it to give you feedback and explain why. I think that's the key. I think most people are using AI. I think the most efficient way is like, hey, give me the answer. I'm like, but that's not, you're not learning anything. You're not gonna, again, the key here is critical thinking, right? Of like learning what it is. So if I want to give AI something, I want to learn too. I want to know why they did what they did. Because if I can think like AI, how dangerous would I be, right? So for me, I was like, hey, if I write something, hey, can you tweak this? And when you edit it, tell me why you made each tweak as well too. And I'll tell you, I fixed this to this way. Here's why for each thing. And let's say you don't understand it. I would ask it, hey, you said this was not grammatically correct. Can you give me some examples so I can learn too? And this is how you get better. Again, more practice, right? More practice, more and more and more. That's one tip. Another tip is read more. Right, read more is the other one. So the more you read, again, just the better immersed you are. That's why, again, it doesn't have to be just books, right? If you guys read, like you guys read blogs or read news articles, the more you read, the more words get in your brain. I'm sure there's some science to explain it as well too there. Okay, so that's that. All right, next one. Hopefully that was helpful for the person that asked that question. All right, next one here. Quick little pause as well as too. Here next one, she has, I think this is part of the previous question. Is it part of the previous question? I think this part of this question here, it makes a little more sense, right? So she has summer internship lined up with 2 political consulting firms, one liberal, one conservative leaning. She was taking English 300, comparative politics and sociology this summer to community college. I love that, by the way. I love community college as well too. Very little community service, as she is a competitive soccer player, three varsity sport athlete. What hurt her, she doesn't have volunteering time. This is a great question as well too. So let's kind of dive into the second half of this question, right? So the second half of this question is, do we need volunteering as well too, and stuff. And when it comes to college admissions, do we need volunteering? Nope, we do not need volunteering, right? So volunteering is a thing that a lot of schools kind of require for you because their goal is try to help you, right? They're thinking, hey, if you do volunteering, right, it can help you with your college applications. Which it could, right? It could help you as well too. But again, for you, the student yourself who was watching this as well too, right? You're very busy. Right, you're already super busy doing a lot of different things. That's a good thing, right? So your goal, right, there is no checklist of things you need to do when it comes to the admissions process. Instead, I look at the hours you spend with your activities, right? So basically, how many hours did you spend specifically with your activities as well too? And depending on the school you guys are aiming for, right? Typically, we like to have our students aim for 20, 30 hours per week, right? This is like if you're aiming for the more competitive colleges, it's kind of what we have our students kind of aim for as well. That usually helps them out a little bit with this as well too. Okay, so I would have you do that. So it sounds like with your existing things that you're doing, this will be the key. But because I think you mentioned you're 2026, as well too. A little pro tip for you guys, right? 2026. The pro tip here is 2026, right? App season, right? Applications, right? The key to all of this is not what the student has done, but why you did each thing. I think I mentioned this earlier. I mentioned this earlier in the why part, right? Something up here, something in the why here. Why did you do what you did? Right? It's not the what you do, because again, you have a very impressive list of things, but could someone else do this? Could someone else take the college classes? Could someone else be also a 3-star varsity? They could, right? They could do that. So in theory, someone could copy what you're doing, but what makes you different is not just the things you did, it's why you chose to do it. So the key to the college essays or the prompts, right? The key to prompts is to focus on the why, not the what. Specifically, mathematically, 30% of your prompt is the what, 70% is the why. So when you break down the word count of each of these, that's kind of what you want to focus on, is focusing a lot on the why part of your prompt and less on the what part itself. Okay, so that's gonna be the first part. Next part over here. Okay, I have a few more questions left. I'll probably end it in like 5-10 minutes. So if you guys have more questions, feel free to drop it. Again, I am going live in a lot of different ways to go. We have people live on Twitch. We got people live on Facebook. We got people live on TikTok. We got people live on YouTube. So we're kind of everywhere right now. So if you guys are here, let me know if you guys like this. If you want me to do it again, I can do it again next week as well too. Okay, so going back here really quick. I don't think we will finish everything today, but we'll probably do a part 2 and kind of answer more questions for you guys as well. Before had you guys help write an appeal for a minute? We do, right? We did help our students, right? Keep in mind, appeals is only when you get rejected, right? Appeals is when you get rejected from a college. But the key here, right, is you need to share new and compelling information. This is the one thing that everyone's like, oh, Coach Tony, I want to appeal. I'm like, what did you do that was new and that's compelling? You getting OAs is not new or compelling, right? I assumed you would get OAs. So what's something new that I didn't know from your app? If you told me, oh, that thing I did, I actually did it. I'm like, cool. I already knew. I assumed you did that. Or something, and then something, hey, I won this race. I finished in 5th place, right? Out of like 10 people. I'm like, cool. Is that compelling though, right? Is that compelling for the reader? So keep that in mind is the thing. So that's kind of my 2 cents for, I think we're kind of past this season. So it might be an old question. Apologies for missing this question. But I think that's the key over here, right? You got to share new and compelling information, right? A few more. We're from East Coast. Do UCs care about geographic diversity of a student body for out-of-state students as well too? So I would say yes, right? Yes, but there's no quota. Right? There's no quota. I mean, they're not going to be like, oh, I need 1 Mississippi student. I need like 2 Texas students. That's not how it works, right? How admission works behind the scenes is they're going to get the profile from your school and compare it to you, right? As well too, and compare it to the entire pool, of admission. So basically on the back end, I see like your stats, I see your school stats, and the average stats of a average student applying, and I kind of compare that way as well too. There's kind of a reason why a lot of people go to certain schools, right? So a lot more students come from certain schools is number 1. That's of UCs. UCs, by the way, are state schools, right? 82% of spots come from in-state. Just heads up. So basically 18 spots, 18% of spots come to out-of-state plus international or not out-of-state. Let's call them non-residents. Kind of that's the proper term. Non-residents and international students is kind of what the rest will look like. But again, keep in mind that it's just going to be your stats, right? Stats of your classes, your grades, and your activities, and your essays. So it's a mix of all that put together. For a lot of people, they just get to focus on one thing, not the other, and they think they'll be fine. No, as well too. So it's a big factor as well. Okay, so that's that. Next one, AI tools that be useful for helping them study APs. This must be an old question. Apologies. This is a little after. And for developing, expanding their personal projects. I'm a huge geek of AI, so I play with a lot of these tools as well too. 2 of my favorites has been ChatGPT. You guys, I'm sure, have heard of that. The small startup company right there, ChatGPT. I like Claude. is another tool that I like to use a lot as well too. They're really good with writing, right? With writing, right? As well too, and coding. For those of you guys who want to do coding, that's a pretty cool app as well too. Really quick, for anyone here interested in computer science, like data coding stuff, here's a pretty cool tool. Pretty cool tool as well too, right? One of the things here is going to be Replit. Replit's a pretty cool tool, and I've been playing with bolts as well too. These are their AI tools that code for you. So you don't have to know code. You just gotta give it the right prompt, and it builds a program for you guys. That's pretty cool. It does cost money, so just a heads up as well too. It does cost money, but really cool thing. Something else that's super cool is also a VO. If you guys have checked that out, if you guys are scrolling TikTok like me all the time, VO's the AI videos, right? As well too. So if you see people do videos of like people are doing like super funny like videos. I see on my TikTok there's a Asian grandma playing with a capybara, and they're just living life, and it's all AI because probably not realistic, right? But it's just hilarious as well too. So you make that with VO. Again, costs a lot of money for the pro version, like $250 a month, I think, as well too. But again, some tools to think about. Again, keep in mind, use these as tools, right? And something I would highly recommend is one of those like technology things. I would again. Don't be careful of lines, right? We're all for AI in the sense of helping you do things, speed things up, but it's not at the level to write your essays yet, right? So one of the things we told our last class, we tell this upcoming class as well to our seniors as well. AI is not that good yet, where you can use it to replace you writing. Plus, we can track it really easy. I don't need an AI tracker. I can read your stuff like, oh yeah, use AI, or hey, no, blah blah, right away. There's some really easy giveaways that because I've read so many of these prompts already. You see it is the key. But I think that's the big thing, right? You can use to brainstorm. Plus, keep in mind, again, you don't want to get in trouble from colleges. And colleges haven't set their official stance yet on schools. Some schools will say don't use it at all. Like the UC say, use it to help you brainstorm. So use it to help you brainstorm. That's pretty much it. So I think there's tons of really cool tools, but these are something that kind of come to my mind as well. Okay. We have time for like one or two more questions here. But before we do, I have a quick little announcements for you guys. If you guys are interested, anyone here, class of 2026. If you are, drop a quick yes in the chat. If you guys are class of 2026. If so, we can definitely go ahead and have a cool little announcement for you guys. We got a few incoming seniors. Love it. Cool. So one thing we're doing this week, I think is pretty cool, right? Because with 26, you're pretty much finishing up school year right now. You're about to start summer really soon. So one of the things that our teams put together that I'll be facilitating, we're calling it your final training, or the final training for class of 2026. It's going to be you guys can't see my screen, right? It's going to be a 90-minute training this Wednesday at 6, June 11th, right, at 6 p.m. Pacific. As well too, we're gonna literally give you every single thing you need to do. Basically, starting from June 11th all the way for the next 365 days. I want to teach you guys what you need to be working on, right? What colleges, what you need to apply to each college. I'll walk through of the college apps so you can see what it looks like as well too. How to write all of the college essays as well too. Tips, strategies, and everything. Basically, it's our final gift, like we call it the final training. It's the final gift for you guys as you guys go into senior year itself. You guys can have a little heads up on going through this journey here as well. So we're gonna go live for 90 minutes and share all that. And those of you who are interested at the end, I think that's why we want to do this. We have less than 10 spots left for families who want to work with us, this upcoming year. But again, first 9 minutes we go live, and last 10 minutes, if you guys want to stick around, we'll do a little official invite before we officially close the doors down because we're out of spots for this upcoming year. But the first 9 minutes, we're going to teach you exactly what to do, how to do it, every single step. So at the very least, if you grab that, you can go and help your child, if you're the student, help yourself with the entire admissions process as well too. This will be a private webinar. This will be a private webinar training as well too. So if you guys want access, just type the word, let's do 2026. Send it to our team, 949-775-0865. Just text our team there. The word again, 2026. 949-775-0865. They don't have the link yet, so I'll give it to them by tonight, and they'll send you the private Zoom link to join us for that session if you guys are interested in that as well too. Okay, so one more time, if you guys are interested in that private training, text the word 2026, 949-775-0865. Okay, let's do like 1 or 2 more questions as well. I think we answered this question already. This was like a previous question as well too. Someone asked, for our passion projects, what are some good examples that other people did? So keep in mind, when it comes to passion projects, right? When it comes to passion projects, the focus is not on what looks good, right? It is based on who you are. Is the key, right? So whatever your thing is doing, that's gonna be the key for you guys there. So the project stuff doesn't matter. What matters to me is focusing on you and why you did what you did, right? That being said, a few cool examples that I know from this class. One of our students created a week-long summer program for middle school students to learn business, to learn like business entrepreneurship as well too. And then again, here's the why, right? Why'd you do that? Growing up, this student got to watch the show Shark Tank, right? That's kind of a Shark Tank inspired theme in middle school with her mom as well too. They grew up single family household. That was the only time they got to hang out with each other as well too. So because of that, that stuck to her as well too. So she wants to teach other middle school students the beauty, the joys of entrepreneurship, and that's the key over here. Okay, so that's gonna be the one over here there. And another one of our students collected tennis balls, right, to recycle, right? So this student realized that, hey, I live next to like a country club area, near a country club area, and they throw them away. They say they play it for like X times a day, they throw it away just to get new balls as well too. So he did a partnership. Hey, can I gather your balls from you like once a week? And they said yes. And because of that, they gather the balls every week and they were able to donate. I think we helped them with the last time I heard, it was like a few thousand balls they collected so far, which is super, super cool as well. Another one of our students, they did a study on traffic lights, right? And traffic, right? So what they did was they realized, hey, there's a street next to their house where like people drove really, really quick as well too. And they wanted to put a stop sign there as well too. And they did all this research and figure out why. Again, the reason why is growing up, right? They had like an experience with that area as well too. So they want to do something about it. So that's kind of what they did over here. I think the story of this one is actually didn't happen because there was a lot of like things they had to go through and city things, so it actually never happened. But the student still was able to share the story. So keep in mind, your personal project doesn't actually have to like execute and be a success. Actually, for this third student, it failed. Every step failed. Everything they tried to do failed. Everything, right? But they still share, and they're ending up at they're going to one of the Ivy Leagues this upcoming year as well too. So again, keep in mind, the personal project doesn't have to happen. It's just that it's a story of why did you do what you did. And again, the key here, why, right? The focus, again, the key is the why did you do it and why it mattered to you is the key here. Okay, in the chance, it looks like someone asked, one of my son is joining the Kickstart this Saturday. Thank you for that little plug as well too. If you guys are coming to the Kickstart this Saturday, I'm actually going to be there as well too. So for those like, what's a Kickstart? We have a really cool event, college app intensive.com. We actually help our students start and get their apps done in 3 days. So Kickstart is the first of the 3 days. You do 1 day Kickstart. We're going to launch. It's a 1 day event that we help them basically draft their UC applications and their personal statement. It's a step-by-step event to help you get through every single step of the way as well too. So really, really cool. You get one-on-one support the entire day to make sure you finish everything as well. So we actually been hosting this for the last few weeks. You can kind of see some live pictures as well. So you can see we've been hosting for since April till now. So every weekend has sold out completely. Every weekend sold out. This weekend's also sold out. So we have a few spots left the next 2 weekends after this if you guys want to join us for those. But pretty much we are completely sold out of this upcoming week as well too. And part 2 of this event is called Accelerator. We basically help you guys go from almost done to final draft during Accelerator. You can see here most weekends are also sold out too, right? We have some in-person ones: San Ramon, Anaheim, Carmel Valley, Berkeley sold out, Westwood 1 spot left, La Jolla a few spots left here, San Jose sold out, Sacramento sold out, Long Beach a few spots left, Carlsbad a few spots left, San Jose sold out, Irvine a few spots left, Berkeley 1 spot left, and Mission Valley sold out as well too. So super excited to hang out with our students to help them with that. So those who are joining me this Saturday, I'll see you guys there. I'll be the one hosting the event this upcoming weekend. Okay, cool. That is pretty much last call for me here today. Thank you everyone for joining me on this Q&A session. Really quick in the chat, was this good? Did you guys want me to do it again next week? Drop a quick yes in the chat if this was good, and if you guys want me to do an encore, a one next week as well too, a Q&A next week. Drop a yes in the chat. Again, we're going live in a lot of different ways. Facebook group, let me know if it's good. Drop a yes in the chat. The YouTube, the TikTok, the Twitch as well too. If I didn't get to your questions, again, feel free to text our team. They can either send the question to me or I'll add to next week. Sounds like we got a few yeses. We got a few yeses in the chats as well too. So we'll probably do it again next Monday. So if you guys want to start dropping the questions as well too. Our team who's watching, we should create a link to make it easy. We should create a link for like questions out loud. But I think it was really fun for me to do. So thank you everyone for joining me. We had a lot of people. We had over 114 across all different platforms put together. So thank you everyone for joining. It's a pleasure hanging out with you guys here this evening. I'll see you guys on the next.